Welcome everyone, my name is Spidey, and yeah, today as you can see we just got the info on the new legend, which is going to be a dual legend, Carrot and Wanda. So yeah, I was already kind of expecting that to be either like a Carrot legend or a Carrot and Wanda legend, and yeah, we got a Carrot and Wanda. I'm not mad about it, to be honest. I really like Carrot as a character, and I think that the fact that we have Wanda like having a legend, it's not terrible. Um, and today I'm going to be giving you guys a little bit of my opinions on it, and I'm going to read out what they do, and yeah, see what are my thoughts, and hopefully hear yours on the comments. So first of all, we have, and thanks to Godot by the way for putting up these images in here on the Discord. We have the Carrot Solo Captain, which says that it reduces special charge time by 2 turns at Start of West, boosts Fighter, Slasher, Striker, Cerebral and Powerhouse by 2.2, approximately 4.84 if character has both of these classes, and makes quick slots beneficial, and also reduces special charge time by 2 turns at start of battle 3, like the Cat and Dog, but they do it for the whole crew, so I think that's a really cool effect. They are like a Mr. 3 support, but that applies to the whole crew instead of just one character, so I think that's really nice, especially because they do that for all the other classes that Mr. 3 support doesn't, because it attaches to Free Spirit and Driven. So the fact that they do it for the other classes, it's very nice. And then we have Wanda's Solo Captain, that it's exactly the same but makes stack slots beneficial. I like the captain wise, I don't think they are like the best that we've had, but they are not terrible. Like I have a lot of good things going on for them. But one thing that I'm not the biggest fan of is the multipliers, like the fact that they boost only like those classes by 2.2 and you need to have 2 of them to get the best multiplier. I was never a big fan of that. We've seen that on V1 Carrot on the 6 star, and we've seen that on V1 Katakuri and V2 Katakuri. I was never a big fan of that effect. I wish it was a flat, like to either every like imagine like a 4.84, it could be that, or even a 4.5, but for like it's always that. It doesn't require you to have 2 of those classes, but because it's like a good array of classes, I don't think like that's gonna really be a big problem. And that their captain effect is actually nice because of their switch effect, which makes them even better. So we'll be getting there in a bit. First, we're going to take a look at their special, which has 2 stages. The first stage is a 3-turn cooldown, which is massive. Like a 3-turn cooldown for this, what they do is actually pretty damn good. But there's one con, which is that this special can only be used 2 times during a quest, as you can see there. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Like, I get what they tried to do, because 3 turns, it's like you can basically use them almost every stage to get a lot of cooldown and to get a lot of effects and like huge attack boosts every turn. But yeah, so on a 3-turn cooldown, it says that sets all enemies defense to 0 for 1 turn, so that's nice. And it also reduces those classes that they boost as a captain, their special charge time by 1 turn, and also gives you the effect to bypass defensive effects, which is just like Luffy Lost Swap, V3 Zoro special, and they also boost your slot effects by 2 turns. And the fact that they only become Carrot and Wanda for 1 turn with these, it's nice because it means that like you can use their special like sooner, because if they were like 3 turns or more, you couldn't use their special. Even if it's on the 3-turn cooldown, it wouldn't really benefit a lot. But yeah, that's nice. Then we have the second stage on a 14 turn cooldown, which can also only be used two times, sets all enemies defense to 0. The difference there is that it changes, it reduces cooldown by 3 turns instead of 1, so that's nice. And also allows you to bypass defensive effects for 3 turns instead of 1. And also gives you a 2.5 times orb boost and reduces their own cooldown by 3 turns. So it's a lot of stuff. And I think that this is a very good special, like 3 turn cooldown for your crew. You basically are getting a 6 turn cooldown for them. You setting defense to 0, which can be good and can be bad, because it will basically mean that some enemies can proc that. Like, the first thing that comes to my mind, it's like Arena Mihawk, where I made it him using the new Kizuna Blackbeard to clear it, because he reduces defense to 0 and he has 10 turns of defense up. But the problem is that he does something, he gives you a lot of bad stuff if you set defense to 0 instead of reducing def up. So yeah, we have some pros and cons in here. But yeah, 6 turn cooldown for themselves in 3 turns for the whole crew, it's very nice. And 2.5 times orb boost is great. And also the fact that you can bypass defensive effects for 3 turns, it means that you can have it on a stage 4 and stage 5, mini boss stage and boss stage, them allowing you to bypass the defensive effects. I think that's a very, very nice effect. That's one of the reasons why people use V3 Zoro. It's because he gets cooldown, he gives a big orb boost, and he allows you to bypass defensive effects. So this is literally almost the same thing, but with higher cooldown redux, with more turns of bypassing defensive effects, and also with an added bonus of a setting defense to 0. So yeah, I think this special is really, really good, and we'll definitely see a lot of play. And then their swap, which pairs up a lot with them as captain, but I don't think it really benefits, it gives them a huge benefit from them as a sub, because it stays here that it will remove paralysis, despair, and slotbind on themselves completely, so that's very nice. But it's nice, if they are a captain, the fact that they can reduce despair, it's really good. You don't need to worry about bringing any despair reducing specials. Slotbind is also really good, and paralysis, it's kind of whatever in terms of removing. I think I would prefer if it was removing paralysis for the whole crew by 1 turn even. But yeah, it's not terrible. It also changes their own slot, including block slots, into matching, so that's perfect. I really like that. And it also gives a 2 times attack boost on themselves, which, yeah, I mean, it makes sense with the removing the paralysis completely on themselves, because you don't need to worry about if they are only going to be the only units that will do the big damage, then it makes sense that they can attack, and you not going to attack with the whole crew. But yeah, I think some things could be different, but anyways. Then their super switch, which, as you can see by here, it's on a 4 turn cooldown, so that's really cool. And it says that it completely removes characters' paralysis, despair, and slotbind, just like the normal one. Also changes their slot, including block, so just like the other one, but the difference is that they now give a 2 times attack boost for fighter, slasher, striker, cerebral, and powerhouse. So I think that's a really cool effect. But yeah, it's like I said, it's not that big of an upgrade, but on a 4 turn cooldown, I think it's a really good super switch. It gives them usage as a captain, because of the despair removal, and also gives them some usage as a sub because of the super swap that gives you can give your whole crew, depending on how you build it, a 2x attack boost, so like in various stages, and can also remove paralysis and despair on themselves. I hope it removes fear, because if the character like gets fear, gets the Sailor Despair, if that removes Sailor Despair as well, then they are goated. If it doesn't, then I'm not quite sure. And yeah, then we have some Rumble stuff. I'm not the biggest fan of Rumble, so I'm gonna ignore that. So yeah, overall, like my opinions on Carrot and Wanda, I think they are a good unit. They are a solid captain and a solid sub. I think they will see more usage as a sub than as a captain. But I still think that they are really cool, and like their effects, limit break abilities, they have pinch healing, they have barrier pen, and they have hunger. We don't know, I don't know at least for how many turns, but like hunger and having barrier pen and pinch healing, I think it's like one of the best some of the best like three special barrier pen. So that's really cool. I really like that. And I also don't know yet the full captain multipliers when they are on dual form. I'm still gonna have to check that out. But yeah, I think overall they are a solid unit that will definitely see some play. But I'm not sure like people will really go for them, because I get why some people might dislike the units. But yeah, I will be pulling for them. So check some videos about that when the treasure map drops, which is, for me, it's after tomorrow. So yeah. Then I'm also going to be talking about the two new rare recruits, which are the treasure map rare recruits, which are the Pedro and the Peckhams. To be honest with you guys, I was not expecting us to get a Pedro and a Peckhams. Like, I get why they did that, because it's like the Sulong and all of that. I was expecting us to get, since like the treasure map unit, it's a Perospero, I was expecting us to get like a Marco treasure map rare recruit, because of the whole like thing that happened between Marco and Perospero. But anyways, here we have it. So let's talk about a little bit about Pedro. Pedro will bind self for 50 turns, will reduce paralysis, despair, and attack down by 3. I just wished it was by 5 or 4 at least. But yeah, anyways. It will deal 200 times character's attack in non-type damage to all enemies. Just a little bit of damage, nothing crazy. Will change all slots to characters on type. Unfortunately, it doesn't go through block orbs. And will also give a 2x color affinity for 3 turns. And then it has an added effect that says if crew has 1 or more bomb slots, it will boost crew's attack and slot effects by 1.75 for 1 turn. I think this, like, I'm not sure. Of course, like, this was made to be used for the treasure map, so we can assume that there's going to be like 3 turns of paralysis, despair, and attack down, and there's also going to be orb manip to bomb. So that's what they try to do in here, I guess. I'm not sure. I actually am not the biggest fan of this Pedro. Like, I don't really see usage for him anywhere outside of this treasure map. I just wish they made him, like, they gave him more usability outside of this treasure map, because even his support is nothing crazy. His support is just a base stat boost, and boosts the damage dealt to Perospero by 1.5. Like, you don't even have that many like Perospero contents to beat in the game outside of the treasure map. So yeah, I'm not really the biggest fan of this Pedro. I think they could have made something better. But yeah. Then we have Peckham's, which has an interesting effect that completely removes bind from one chosen character. So they made it that you use Pedro first and then you use Peckham's to reduce the bind of Pedro, and changes adjacent slots to characters on type, and reduces threshold and damage reduction by 5, and also gives you a 3x chain. So yeah, we can assume there that there's going to be content like final boss stage with threshold and damage reduction, and I'm assuming probably chain reducing effect, chain coefficient reduction. So yeah, I think he's a little bit better than Pedro, but he also doesn't do that much. Like, he gives you a 3 times chain block, which is very nice, and gives you some utility removing threshold and damage reduction. So I think you will be great for that. And he also has a really nice support, actually. Like, I really like his support, attaching to Sanji, Cat, Dog, Pedro, and Carrot. So that's a good array of characters. And it says that if you are inflicted with decreased chain multiplier, you set the chain multiplier to 2.5 for 1 turn, so that's really nice. And I think that support will definitely see a lot of play. But like, in terms of special, is not terrible. He's actually like a sort of usable unit outside of this treasure map. Whilst Pedro, outside of the treasure map, I don't really see him have any usage, like, other than maybe for his 2 times color affinity. But yeah, I'm not really the biggest fan of Pedro. I kind of like Peckham's, he's usable, and I actually like Carrot and Wanda. They are a cool unit. They seem like they are going to be a really fun unit to use. So yeah, I also wanted to just check out the Perospero, so just give me 1 second. Alright, so here we have it. Thanks to Koala Sun, by the way, for the translation on Reddit. And we have Perospero, which is going to be a quick unit. Captain effect boosts Striker's cerebral attack by 3, reduces damage taken by 10, and if you use his special, it becomes a 4 times attack, 4 times Captain, and reduces damage taken by 20% for 3 turns. So that's not terrible. Not a terrible Captain ability for a free-to-play unit, to be honest. His special, which set the chain multiplier to 2.75 for 3 turns, will lock crew slots for 3 turns, and if your captain is a quick type, he will do 350 times this attack in quick damage to all enemies for 2 turns at the end of turn. So I think like his special is nothing crazy. 2.75 times chain, it's not bad, but it's not that high of a chain at these days. But it's not a terrible chain, and for 3 turns you can avoid some debuffs and all that. Locking slots for 3 turns, I think it's actually pretty cool. It means that, for instance, the first content that I can think of that can abuse this, it's the Garb Challenge Hoodie, where you need to lock your slots in 1 turn, and then you get the perfect lock. So I think it's going to be a really cool effect. And also he does some end of turn damage that you can use to either speed farm or get around resilience, so that's actually pretty cool. And because he has his limit break expansion ability will reduce his special charge time by 11 turns, means that you can use his special quick to speed farm, like to clear the first stages quickly. He also has the Sailor to carry over his quick slot if you land a perfect strike, and also will reduce his special charge time by 1 turn every time another Cerebral or Striker uses a special. So I think that's really cool, like first quickly clearing stages and to get like orb locks for multiple stages to just keep your orbs. I think that will be very, very useful. But the main usage I see for him, it's the support, which once per quest, if supported character uses a special, will lock Striker character slots for 1 turn, and it attaches to any Striker character. So I think that's really cool, because they made like a custard support that attaches to, like, custard attaches to Wind. We have the Jinbei to Free Spirit, and now we also have the Ivankov, which is for the whole crew, and now we have the Perospero for Striker characters. And the fact that he's a free-to-play unit, I think it's really cool, and that will definitely see a lot of play, especially if Strikers now start to get a little bit of a boost. But like the first usage I can see for this, it's like Yamato. You can now use, you don't need, imagine you're making a full in team with Yamato, like C-Star Yamato. You can bring custard support. If you're making a full Striker team with Yamato, you can bring Perospero support, and if you're doing a Free Spirit team with Yamato, you can bring the Jinbei support. So now you don't need the super type of Yamato to get locked slots. You can just use like a support in almost every team you do with them. So yeah, I think that's a really cool effect. We'll definitely see play. And yeah, those are my opinions on the units. I will be pulling for the units, especially and hopefully get Crocodile. I will be pulling on part 1, so expect the multis on the first day of the banner. And yeah, that's my opinions, and I hope you like it. I hope to see your opinions on the comments. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next time.